So your parents won't let you get a bike. I understand. Chances are, if your parents won't let you get a bike, it's probably not a good idea. So, if your parents won't let you get a bike, maybe you should, get a job and kind of save up for it yourself. And I know when you're under the age of 18, you're not legally allowed to own anything being put in your name. Oh, God. My allergies are kicking my ass. I feel like there's a bucket of snot just draining into my throat, and I'm all nasally. Hopefully it'll go away today. So your parents love you, okay? Unless you have really bastard parents, then they don't love you, move out, whatever. But I'm assuming your parents have a reason. Usually that reason is, A, you're not responsible, so either you're a shitty driver and your parents just don't like how you drive, so a motorcycle would just be even worse. B, you do drive decent, your parents are just overprotective, which happens. I mean, you're of a ripe young age of 16, 17, 18. Well, chances are by the time you're 18 you can afford your own goddamn bike, so you can do that on your own. So I'm assuming you're 16 or 17, or even 15, and looking at getting a bike. Your parents just want to protect you, So the less likely you are to be a schmear on the road in the next 6 months, or the more they are against you, I guess, in your ideals of getting a motorcycle. What I can say is, A, what is your choice of bike? Like, there's a few questions you need to answer. One, if it's a sport bike, you're probably not going to make it. You're probably not going to do it, just period. It's not going to happen. You're out of luck. I knew a guy that rode a moped to school for, I think, 4 years, 3 years, something like that, 2 years. He had a moped forever. And then his graduation year, he got a sport bike. It was a little ZX6. I think it was a 2000 or something like that. So it was a couple years old by that point. But the kid worked his ass off his entire school career, and then bought it his last year. I mean, that was all on him, which you can do. That's one of the things we'll get to in a second. But okay, so those two things. One, how are you going to get the money to pay for this? If your parents want to pay for a vehicle and they say no to a motorcycle, they hold all the keys to that kingdom. You're not going to make it. Sorry, that's just how it is. Get a car. Or what you can do is get a small gentleman's truck, like a Ford Ranger or a Chevy S10, or a little Nissan Pathfinder or something. Then, that way, when you want, you can, get a motorcycle, and when you wreck it, you can haul it home. If you're looking to get, I would say, a supermoto would be a great way around that, because parents look at a dirt bike and they go, oh, it goes on-road and off-road. That seems dangerous. Well, yeah, but it's not really off-road. It's like logging trails, my favorite term. So logging trails, where I come from, are just dirt roads. Dirt roads with trees in the way that really don't have that much to go over. It's not that bad. I mean, logging trails are like meh. A dual sport is a great way around it, and they're cheap. You can buy a DRZ 400 SE for around $3,000, and that thing will probably outlast your grandchildren. You can buy a DR 650. If you find a 98, I guess mine is worth $750, but you could probably find it for around $2.5, $3, something like that. If you wanted a cruiser, if I went back and redid this, like redid my high school career, I would have bought a Rebel 250. an 80s Rebel 250 or an 80s Rebel 400. They're super manageable. So for newer riders, you basically you can whack the throttle as hard as you want. The thing won't get away from you. It's really hard to screw up with that bike. And B, they're so modifiable. They're so cool. You can customize the shit out of them. I want one now, just so I can turn it into like an old school kind of bobber, and just go do my thing. And, you know, throw some saddlebags over it, and that's how I get to work and back every day. Back then, it would have been throw my rain gear in there, and that's how I got back and forth to school every day. But you can do things like remove the back seat, or you change out the seat pan, and you make it a single seat, and you take the old seat pan and hack the old back seat off, reupholster it, so that way whenever you want a woman on the back, or another person, sorry, you can put the rear seat on, but you can chop the tail section off or make it a little more sleek and cool looking. So you can do that. And then, you know, modify the front end so it's an old school front end, which overall this would probably run you about $4,500. And you can do most of it yourself. Probably cheaper if you could do a lot of it yourself. But the parts in the front end is kind of expensive, you know, same with wheels and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm saying $4,500, is because that would provide for a kit, or the parts themselves, and everything else. If you did it yourself, you'd probably save money. Anywhere from, like, if you bought the bike for $15,000, you could probably do it for like $32,000. Anywhere from like $3,000 to $4,500 out the door when you're all said and done, bike and everything too. That would be my recommendation. And if you look them up, they're cool as hell. I would love a little rat bobber. Or if you wanted to, the DR or the DRZ. The DR is kind of harder to sway because it's 650 cc's. And when your parents hear that number, they go, oh my god, that's a lot! And when you hear 250 for some reason is just small. And when your parents hear moped, oh, that's music to their ears. But you're gonna have to basically figure out certain things around that. So convincing your parents, if you save up the money and throw it down in front of them, that shows responsibility enough. That you went out and made money enough for something you wanted, and you want to take care of that thing. And learn how to do maintenance. Learn what you need. You will need gas, tires, oil, chain maintenance, valve adjustments. All those things you will need to do. Air filter changes. I mean, like, you gotta figure it all out. Your parents are not gonna help you with this. So basically what I'm saying is, put on your adult pants and start adulting really hard. I would say though, when you get your license, what you can do, secret way around it, is go get your endorsement. A lot of states have a safety course that when you pass the safety course, you just go to the DOL or DMV, whichever you have, and you just say, here is my certificate, and they go, cool, pay us for another license, and you get your endorsement on the license as well. When you look at my license, on the back of it, it says END3, all two-wheeled vehicles. So in Washington, you basically go to the course, or take the safety course. It's $150 up in Washington when I took it. So it's probably $200 now. You show up with helmet, jacket, gloves, boots, and they provide a small little bike. They teach you how to do everything. Everything from clutch control, starting the bike, stopping the bike, running through a corner, running through a swerve, how to get out of things' ways, all that kind of stuff. Do figure eight in the box. Everything you need to know, they do. They teach you all the basics. And they teach you enough to get proficient at it. Kinda. I mean, it is a crash course in it really, really quickly, but realistically, if you pay attention to everything that guy says, you'll do fine. Once you do this, your parents will probably go, oh, goddamn, little Johnny, Susie, Billy, Sally, whatever. You went and did this on your own. That shows a lot of responsibility. I mean, you ran out, you bought gear, you did everything you needed. You were an adult about this. and your grades are good, and you keep doing your schoolwork and all that kind of stuff, you're fine. So I guess you're an adult now, which I understand it's hard for parents to let go of you being a kid sometimes. It really is. Your job as a parent is to protect your child, and you never stop doing it. You know, kids grow up, and you just think they'll always be your kids. They'll always be your kids. So ultimately, you can take those little pieces of advice. You can do those things. If you don't want to, that's fine. If your parents won't, and you're just stubborn about it, that's fine too. Let me know when you turn 18 and get your bike. If you get your bike earlier than 18, let me know what you got. Let me know. Just stay safe.